and welcome to Blue Girls Video Podcast. I have videos for you today for January 2023. The first one is Friends as Neighbors. My friend lived upstairs from me. I walked down some back stairs that were carpeted. I couldn't remember my apartment number, so I accidentally opened somebody else's door. So basically, this was kind of weird. I accidentally opened my neighbor's door in the dream. It was like right next door. Traveling across a body of water. A guy is sitting at his desk. He reminds me of the same guy in PA. Many years ago, he would start at the bottom of a large body of water and would go upwards to several different cities he wanted to explore. Then he handed me a large packet to fill out. So this was kind of strange in that it's not Pennsylvania, but it was some guy. He reminded me, and it could have been the same guy from this PA, is what I'm calling it. But what he did is he stopped. Okay, there was this body of water, very large body of water. And so he started at the bottom, and he just wanted to go to different parts of it to explore it. I don't know why or exactly. It does remind me of the Midwest body of water, but I'm not sure. Okay, so the next dream is me. I was in a small town and was full of smiles and positive. However, the man and woman that I dealt with were mean. There were rows of apartments, but the guy didn't want me to go into it, so I guess he paid for a night at hotel. I don't see the hotel in dream. Okay. Italian coat. This dream was a little strange. An actress, I don't remember her name, but she was in a room kneeling down or something. And a couple, then another woman was trying on a very expensive white coat. It was part of a try before you buy program. I see her looking at the receipt without a price amount. One of her friends asked if the coat was Italian. Okay, so what it was is I don't remember much about this actress or whatever, but I do remember this woman who had dark hair and she was trying on an expensive Italian coat. I think it was white actually, and it was part of a try before you buy program. Now, I'm not getting an amount on how much it was in the dream, but I just know, Italian stuff is expensive, so then, whatever. Crushes of public figures. Yesterday, I had a dream of Neve C. and was leaning her head up against the wall when a woman came and snuggled her face by her neck. So looked up, and then Neve B., the actress, October 3rd is her birthday. So I recorded this before, and then I realized that all this was not dated in chronological order. So what surprised me the first time was that a relative's dog that sleeps with me every now and then, he did something very similar. He's putting his snout underneath my chin, like right between, and he's never done that really before, but he did it like for most of the night. And so I wrote down the dates, March 9th or 10th. I don't remember, of 2023. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember being surprised because it was something very similar. Then last night I dreamed of a guy named Elton who was attending an outdoor event with a woman that he really liked. It wasn't a date, but more of a getting to know each other. Then she goes looking for a restroom and can see the sign. Okay, so this guy, Elton or whatever in the dream, he really liked this one woman. And so they were going on. It wasn't a date. I had a sense that she really wasn't ready and she just kind of wanted to test the water, so to speak. But Elton, this guy, really liked her. And I remember they went to something. It was almost like one of those, I had a sense it was in the Midwest, but it's like one of those like outdoor festivals, there's bands and stuff like that because there were a lot of people there. And so I remember her seeing a sign that said restroom. which I thought kind of, strange because usually it would say women's restroom, whatever, but it just said restroom, right? So anyway, so that's what I saw. So it was like a sign, right? Not like literally a sign, but a sign. Okay, so like the next dream is I had a yellow male lab dog. Then I walked out of a room of an apartment to all these cheery, positive young 20 somethings having a celebration. Everyone was in a positive mood. I saw the actress, Angela, whatever, plus my former friend, E, was there and he was wearing adult diapers or some men's underwear. So this was kind of strange in which, what it reminded me of was that I was looking under hostels and I saw some pictures or whatever of Denver hostels, and everybody looks, that was kind of the vibe I got. Everyone was cheery and happy and getting along, which I don't know if that's, what it's like there because I haven't been to that one or whatever one it was. But, they usually take good pictures or positive pictures, So whatever, it was kind of a celebration and so I don't know what my former friend was there. He was there, and adult diaper. He was wearing an adult diaper and men's underwear. And from what I remember, I think it was like an adult diaper. I'm not laughing because he was wearing that. It's just that I remember when I was in my 20s and I would, joke around with my friend, and because I used to urinate a lot. Not a lot. Not I do now more because I'm diabetic, but I would say what I get to look forward to, as a diaper, and I would say that in my 20s. So that's why I'm kind of chuckling because, it's not funny. It's kind of sad, but so anyway, I was temporarily staying at an older woman's place. She would work during the day. Camera gear. I've had several dreams over the last few days. One young woman was giving needles for her diabetes, which she thought kind of strange because she usually just takes pills. So this was kind of weird. I thought this dream was for me, but it was a different woman. It was a young woman with blonde hair. And she was like, why are they giving her needles instead of pills? And I know in my situation, I've been diabetic for at least a year and a half now. And my diabetes so far is controllable. So I was kind of surprised with that dream, thinking, oh my God, I hope that, is that me? But then it was a different woman, a young woman with blonde hair. So I don't know, but that's kind of disturbing considering that both of my parents were diabetic. And one had type 1, the other one had type 2. My father, his wasn't, I don't think his was controllable, I'm not sure, but my mom's was. So anyway, so then the second dream, I was with this older woman and she was kind of like a referral lady. I was standing in the same room as she was, and she was sending beams of light, people to different destinations. So this was I call her kind of the referral lady, and it was kind of cool and weird at the same time. It was like she was like standing there, standing there, and people she had would have referrals, and so each referral was a beam of light. Like, okay, let's say this person was right in front of her, so it would leave. She would give the referral, and the referral would leave as a beam of light. So that was kind of interesting. I'm kind of wondering if it's some spiritual lady, because I don't know why that would occur. It was kind of cool, and I haven't had a lot of cool dreams recently, but this one was kind of interesting. Okay, so last night, it was an odd dream. I'm not for sure where this dream took place. I'm thinking New York. A woman was in her place, a whole upper level. She had all this old film cameras. A young girl was sitting next to her on the couch, and she asked her name, Christine. There were people inside her apartment at times as well. It didn't seem like a normal apartment, but possibly a temporary place. So this is kind of weird. I'm saying New York, but then later I heard from Virginia, and I'm kind of sensing that it could have been Virginia. I'm not sure. I did go to Virginia once. I went, to actually stay and spend some time there. So I'm not sure if it's Virginia or it's New York, but I felt like it was, I think that part of the reason why I thought it was New York it wasn't a regular apartment. It was, it could have been like a squat situation, actually. I'm not sure. And there was all these, and I think there was a guy there. I'm seeing a guy now, an older guy. And there was all this, she must have been interested in film or cameras, because there was all this really cool film cameras, different cameras of, since they were invented. And so that was kind of interesting, and maybe that's what she was interested in. Okay, so I had another dream of my friends, and Jay. Okay, being at a homeless shelter, sitting at the tables in the dining area. The shelter was in the Midwest. Okay, so yeah, so this person that I'm talking about, as far as I know, he no longer lives in the Midwest, but he spent quite a few years in and out of shelters, which is kind of sad. But okay, so then a woman is waiting inside a bus shelter to go to her storage facility when she had 2 storage lockers there. On the 28th, she was reviewing her storage policies. Access to the facility was open to 9 p.m. There were either 2 security officers around in this dream. There was talk of going to Virginia. Okay, so 2 dreams. Well, I want to say something. I've had several dreams of Virginia. Just from years ago, and I've had several dreams of, even before I started documenting these dreams, Las Vegas, which, I'm never going to live in Las Vegas. I don't really like, when I first went to Las Vegas, I liked it there, but it's changed a lot, in my opinion. And, I don't know, it's just not my cup of tea. I've changed as well. I don't really, if you're in your 20s or early 30s and you like to party, then Vegas is kind of perfect for that. But, I'm older. I prefer, if I had to choose, a small town in the middle of nowhere. But as long as I, have some kind of transportation. But I don't know what it is. That's kind of what I prefer. Okay, so anyway, I was somewhere, 2 dreams. I was somewhere near Canada and thought of Alaska. A couple of days later, I heard in my dream, I want you to quit talking about it. I guess people around me didn't want me to talk about something. I'm not for sure exactly what the topic was about. Then I took a bus into this area. I always went so far, but this time after getting off the bus, I found a stream of water. I forgot to bring my items to take pictures. There was a young white couple visiting the area as well. Later, I saw a different young couple sleeping on a floor with a mat, possibly a shelter. Okay, so what was going on in this dream is I think it was I was kind of in the dream. It was like near Canada, kind of like the border, very close to it. But then it seemed like, and I don't know what this, I'm not for sure what this means. I want you to quit talking about it. And, that could be several things. I don't know for sure. But I heard that. So somebody doesn't want me to talk about something. So in this dream, I went, I would always go to a certain point in a situation. Or whatever, apartment or housing or whatever the heck it was or whatever. But in this dream, I finished it. I went the full, I completed it, whatever it was. And I remember that I forgot to bring my camera, and there was a stream, and there was this white couple. And I remember just thinking that. I wish I would have brought my camera, which is a little strange because I could have just used, the phone camera or whatever. But, yeah. So anyway, so that is that dream. And the next one is bikes. Okay. Last night I dreamed of a town that I'd never been before. It was a sunny spring day. The woman was riding on her bike, and a mom and son turned off at a trail. Several teenage boys rode their bikes straight on trail. The woman also went straight on a trail. The woman also went straight. Whoops. It was interesting. Small town. Also, I recall former manager talking to this one male landlord where was living. I came back from a trip mid-month and didn't pay the rent, thinking that the manager could keep the deposit, so I ended up having to write a check. Okay, so this dream, at the time, I thought it was somewhere else in the dream. I wasn't for sure, but it could have been Virginia because I went back, and when I would have an opportunity to go to Virginia, there was a dream about bikes, but that could be anywhere, you know. It could, any city that there's a lot of bike activity, people riding their bikes. So this is a little backwards a little bit. What I remember about the dream is there was these teenage kids that were going straight, and they were, and then I saw them go straight because I was on a bike too. But after them was this mom and this kid, and they turned right on their bike. And I think with me, it was almost like kind of making a decision in the dream. So what I did is I went straight and I followed the teenage guys. I mean, I don't remember them. I didn't know who these people were, any of them. But that's kind of what I remembered, is it was kind of like a decision. And I decided to go straight. Farm is the next dream. Yes. I heard the word farm. This woman was on a farm with several people. She wasn't going to stay at the hotel, but decided to go anyway. She wasn't prepared for this trip. She might have flown into LA. Then the actor Johnny D was in field on a farm. I guess he kind of stops by there every now and again. And when I woke, I thought, why would Johnny be on a farm? Also, there was an ethnic-looking man around, so assuming the owner of the farm. So this was a little strange in the fact was that, why would the actor Johnny B? But it could have been someone with the same name. He was just stopping by at his friend's place who was ethnic. I don't know what ethnicity he was, but he had a farm in California. And I guess that he would just, that was his friend, so he would stop by and visit him. So, taken inside is the next dream. An ethnic woman was sleeping in the cold weather outside. As she was sleeping, a group of medical women took her inside, not for sure if it was a medical facility or somewhere else. The woman didn't wake up during this, however, I felt being jolted or when being picked up as if it was her. Okay, so what was going on is that she was sleeping outside, and I wrote down the El Paso border because I was watching them, with all the people over there who are living in their tents or sleeping in their tents or whatever. So whatever, this woman, what I saw in the dream is that a group of women physically had a hold of her, and she was like unconscious. And I couldn't sense that she was cold or anything, but she was unconscious, right? And so in the dream, well, she must have been sleeping somewhere because these women picked her up. And they weren't wearing medical gear or anything like that, but they physically picked her up. And I could feel that in the dream. And so then they brought her somewhere. I don't know where they brought her to. I just see women carrying her, and she's got dark hair, and she's, got dark clothes on or whatever. So there was something wrong with her. That's why they brought her in. So, okay, so the next dream is going to be several bus trips. I had several dreams all about taking buses. I'm trying to remember. So first dream, a woman or me showed up at the bus terminal for an early bus trip. I'm getting the number 9. She may have taken the bus in the evening, not sure. The bus station is not familiar to me. I do see the woman approaching the counter where 2 women are helping her. I then recall getting to a certain destination and thinking that didn't want to do any more traveling, so called something my youngest brother to pick me up. A woman or possibly sitting on a couch with another woman, possibly a friend or a roommate. One black lab gets loose out of the front door. I do see an apartment complex, and people left some of their items outside of the porch, like cassettes, etc. Also, I see different suitcases, like older suitcases, not with handles. I do not recognize the scenery bus terminal location since it isn't as cold. I also heard if I'm going to T, but the scenery doesn't look like the desert at all. Okay, so yeah, there was several bus trips. So most of the places with these bus trips, I didn't recognize the area at all. I'm getting the number 9, which there was something that happened on March 9th, 2023, and that's where that 9, not good news, which the 9 might be coming in for in this dream. So then, yeah, the woman who was me or whatever, or they're not me, I don't know. She approaches the counter. Like I said, none of these bus stations are familiar to me in the dream. So what I did is I didn't want to do any more traveling. So then I decided that I would have my youngest brother pick me up. Usually it's not that brother, but in this dream, it's my youngest brother. So anyway, so then the dream switches, and then there's like, it's kind of a ghetto area, in which it's kind of apartments that have porches. And I think somebody moved out, and the person who moved out, I think it was a guy, and he just left a bunch of stuff on the porch, like, he didn't want it, so he just left it there. And it was like old stuff, like cassettes and stuff like that. And it was just, stuff he didn't want, and it looks like he's had it forever, probably since the 80s when they were around, when I was around, right? So, and the suitcases were like, this was kind of different. The suitcases were, it says with handles. They're older, old-fashioned suitcases or whatever, not with the pole or whatever. These were older ones where you carry it. And so I go to myself, I'm going to whatever. But it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that, a desert or anything in the dream. So I'm wondering if it's somebody connected to that city that says, hey, I know of a place, or they help me somehow. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, so then, so the next dream is on the phone. A woman or me was taking an old-fashioned home phone. There are several work desks in a room, and one overweight woman with blonde hair is sitting at her desk. She has a distinctive nose. I don't remember much of this dream. 2 guys. This is going to be the last. This is actually November and December of 2022. A couple of guys with long hair were both sitting in chairs in the living room. I went to put some dimes into a slot machine, lots of dimes. So I remember this. It was like, I thought it was like a rent-a-room place. And that's where I thought I was at, because it was pretty clear. And that these guys were pretty clear. So I think it was like, like I said, people were renting rooms or whatever. Okay, so that is going to be the end of this particular video. And thank you for watching.